welcome to Gaston Spotlight. I'm your host, Erica, and my guest today is Lisa Albright, Jurs, Dean of Career and Technical Education Division. Hello, Lisa. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell us about the journey that brought you to Gaston College.
So I am a Gastonian native, and I ended up going to law school, so I'm an attorney by trade. But when I practiced a couple years, I decided to try to teach paralegal and criminal justice. And when I stepped in the classroom, I realized that was the perfect blend for me of education and law, and I loved it. So I ended up entering education instead of the legal field, and really haven't looked back. I really love teaching and feel like it's a great way to utilize my knowledge in both those areas.
That's amazing. It's always great to find someone who really loves teaching.
Oh yes, I do love it.
Teachers are amazing. They have really. I love my teachers because they were so supportive for me, and they will see if a student is upset or something, and they like take the time to care, and they like pull them aside, and they're just so helpful. I love teachers.
Well, thank you. I still do teach some now, even though I'm dean, which is really important to me because it keeps me aware of how it is to teach, which I think is important in my role.
Unsung heroes, truly. Truly.
Thank you.
So since you've been dean, what have been some of your biggest accomplishments?
So I took over a division that was 3 separate divisions. And so when I became dean, I kind of had to get everyone under the same umbrella, which was challenging because they were very different areas. If you think about welding and accounting, all being under the same supervisor. So my biggest accomplishment, I think, has just been being able to create one division, bringing everyone together, kind of having some sort of cohesive unit, and getting the people to know each other and realize all the strengths we have within our division and all the great things we're doing. So that's been exciting for me. It's been really a blessing to meet so many people that I might not have ever met if I hadn't taken this role.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
So since you've been here, how long have you been here, by the way? Or
so I taught some back in the 90s, and then I left and had some children, and then came back, and then left and did private practice. So I had some gap years, but overall about 20 years total. So when I started, everything was in person. So everything in the classroom, 100%, nothing online, everything grade book, written out, all that kind of stuff. So it's changed so much, the technology. Now I'm teaching online classes and having online standards. So the technology is definitely one of the biggest changes I've seen in my career, and trying to keep students engaged in that online environment has been challenging and always something to improve, I would say. But it's just a different way to learn.
Yeah, and we always love to hear ways that we can improve and grow, because that just means we're growing.
Exactly.
So I bet you've seen tons of crazy things here. What would you say may be some of the craziest things that you've seen while here?
I don't know if I would say crazy. I would say that your chair of your program always brings me unique things to try to solve. Because I can say that the broadcasting and audio, video, and sports media are always trying new things, and they're trying to see what is going to be best for their students and how they can try this new thing or new equipment, new programs. So that's what's been fun. It's always challenging at the beginning to figure out how to make it work, but then once we get it going, we're so proud of how we got through it and made it succeed.
Just in the time that I've been here, this program has changed so much.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely crazy. What do you hope for the future of our division?
So, twofold. For these students, I definitely hope for them to get a career in something that they love and that can bring them a sustainable wage. That's my goal for students. For faculty, I want them to love working at Gaston College, and I want them to like being here, and I want them to want to continue being here. So that's twofold, but equally important.
That's awesome, though. It's great to be a dean and have those goals. It makes me feel very good to be at this school.
Well, good.
With that being said, do you have any advice that you would give to your younger self if given the chance?
so much advice. I got to be honest. So I have 3 children, and it's funny because when I was thinking about this, I was thinking, I don't even give my kids the advice that I'm probably going to tell you. So I'm going to make them watch this show because they need to hear it too. During COVID, my husband and I took a class that was like an online class from Yale that was called The Science of Happiness. And I got so much from that class. It was a free class by Dr. Lori Santos. But anyway, the point of the class was that the things we think are going to make us happy don't, for most people. Things, money, career, all those things are extra things. They are not what actually makes you content. And that it's all about the people, the relationships that you have that really bring that added value to your life. So I think that's what I would say to my younger self. I would also say you are more than your worst day or your worst mistake, because we should not judge people on their worst day. I hope no one's judging me on my worst day. It could be today. I don't know. And to make sure that we're seeing people as a whole person and not just one thing that they did or one thing they said. So that's my advice that I'll give you, but I'll also give, it's okay to pivot. It's okay to pivot. Like if I had gone to law school and said, I'm only going to work in big law, I would have missed so much of what I've found valuable in my life. And so it's okay to use your skills and go a different way and see how it works.
That's awesome. Thank you. I almost teared up a little bit there. I'm not going to lie. That was awesome. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
I've heard that your philosophy is personal connection is the key to success. So tell us more about that.
So it's all about the people. Like that is what life is about. People. It's about people. That's what everything good in my life is about, the people. And so there's this story. I have a friend who wrote a book called The Heart-Led Leader, and his name is Tom Spalding. And he tells this story about going for a big interview, and I'll have to send him this too. Going for a big interview at a school and for a full scholarship. And it was in like a restaurant, and it took a long time for everyone to get interviewed, so everyone was just waiting, and all the candidates were just sitting around kind of just nervously. Well, he talked to the guy that was working there, the bartender, and apparently the committee could not decide who was going to win the scholarship at the end. And somebody came out and asked, it was like a bartender role, who do you think? And he said, this guy, he talked to me the whole time, and he got the scholarship. So it's all about the people. You don't know. It's not about what people do for you. It's about what you can do for people. And it's just continuously enriched my life to be open to people. And I used to be more of an extrovert. I know that's a surprise. Now I'm kind of an introverted extrovert. Like I do get tired of being an extrovert. But I feel like if you lead with people in mind, then you really can't go wrong.
Thank you for that example. I feel like it gets hammered into us. It's all about the networking. It's all about the people, but we kind of sort of overlook it sometimes because we do hear it so much. So hearing examples like that where it kind of sounds like it comes from a movie.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, wow, that stuff does happen in real life,
Oh,
and you got
yeah.
to think about
Yeah.
those type of things.
Yeah.
So how does your leadership style incorporate this?
So I try really hard. We have a big division and we have a lot of students. But I try really hard to listen to people and to make sure I'm... One good thing about my legal background is that when you go to law school, you're taught to see things from different sides and to not necessarily agree with that side, but understand the rationale for that side and make an argument for that side. So it's helped me to put myself in other people's shoes, be empathetic, and think about, okay, this is why they're feeling this way. I also think that sometimes I just have to pause and not make decisions and think about the people a little bit before I just react. So I think I've incorporated that, but it's hard.
It is. I think a lot of us can relate to those situations and feelings. So tell us more about the hats you wear inside and outside of Gaston College, because I hear you do so much.
I don't do as much as I used to do since I took this role, but I do believe in supporting our community, and I love our community. Like I I moved here when I was 4, so I consider myself a lifelong. I was gone for 12 years, but then came back. And interestingly enough, I met my husband in law school, and we both were looking for jobs after law school. He did a clerkship, and we were coming back to North Carolina. We both applied for jobs, and his first offer was a good offer from Gastonia, North Carolina. And I was like, what? I am not moving back to Gastonia. But we did, and it was awesome because we had twins a couple years later, and we really needed to be near my parents. So, but I can't even remember the question because I got off on a tangent there.
I liked hearing about your kids. That was awesome.
You asked about...
Just tell us more about yourself inside and outside of Gaston. What do you want people to know about you?
So I am pretty active in my church. One of the cool things, I go to First Methodist downtown, and one of the cool things we've done lately is the Salvation Army closed in downtown Gastonia, and so we saw a need for a cold weather shelter, and we've worked with the county and city governments to open a cold weather shelter when it's under 32 degrees. And my husband and I were there on Saturday night, and we had almost 60 people in our gym. So I like doing hands-on stuff like that. I've learned I do a lot of administrative stuff here, so when I'm volunteering, I want to do more of the boots on the ground out there. But my kids, I was very involved in, Booster Club and PTO and all those things, local boards, Literacy Council, Red Cross, things like that.
Where do you find the time?
I don't know.
Oh, that's crazy.
That whole thing about the busiest people do the most.
But I mean, you seem very happy. I'm most happiest when I'm busy too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't read the top of this prompter. Okay. You have truly created a fantastic environment here at Gaston College.
Well, thanks.
And I would like to know, do you have any advice for future leaders? How do you run a tight ship but keep hopes and spirits high?
I believe expressing gratitude is really important. That actually goes back to that Science of Happiness class I took. That was one of the takeaways, is that if you keep gratitude at the forefront of your mind, your brain fools you about things. So your brain will tell you, oh, you want to scroll for an hour. But your brain is not right. It's not good for you. It doesn't make you happy. So doing intentional acts like gratitude, like we just had this big event where you were volunteering this week. I need to write some thank you notes as a result of that. So I do think that helps culture. There's a lot of culture that you can't control when you work for we're a state agency. But I think getting to know the people and seeing them as not just an employee, but as a person, like I said before, is important too. So I've tried to get to know people. Like I feel like I know Kate's family. They don't know me, but I know them. Things like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Instead of it being like a structured boss and then employee, it's like we're a family, we're a team. We all have the same goal. That's awesome.
I think when I was younger, I think this is a takeaway for me. When I was younger, I felt like I needed to be a certain type of personality to be a leader, like strict and intimidating.
And you get told that.
Well, I think that was the culture more when I was growing up, especially as a woman in a field, in an attorney also. But I think when I've aged, I've just realized, you know what? My personality is who I am, and I have to make it work for what I'm doing. And it's not a weakness to show empathy or be vulnerable or say, I don't know how to do that either. And so that's also, that confidence, I think, comes with just living on this earth a little longer.
I think, so far, you've given us gold that we can keep with us forever.
Well, good.
But do you have anything else to say to Gaston College students, past, present, or future? Just keep trying. Like, if you have a bad semester, it's okay. Just come back. Come back. Don't let it be an end. That whole, you're more than your worst day. Just, keep at it. Try to put your goals in a tangible way so that you have something to, because I do believe in intention,
that you have to, sometimes we're just so vague, like, I'd like to do this. Well, what steps are you taking toward that? Like our brain, like I said, you have to be intentional with your brain to make sure that you are in control and not just following. So I think that's probably, and I'm excited because I get to say your name at graduation. So now I love seeing all the students that I'm, getting to know and can give you a high five.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Having you here was such a pleasure.
Well, thank you.
Just tell us more about you. Do you have any tell us more about you. Do you have any early memories of Gaston College?
I do. So I know that Kate knows this, but there are two things I did when I was young. One, I took a photography class here when I was like in 8th grade, which I thought was really cool. It was a Con Ed class. My mom and I took it, which was neat. But I also, when I was in high school, I was on a radio show on Sunday mornings here called Teen Time. And when I listened to a cassette tape of this recently, when I was moving, I found a cassette tape, and it literally sounded very, very old, and I was very, very Southern in the tape. But my English teacher at Ashbrook got me a gig with another girl, her daughter actually, and we did an hour-long show here at Gaston College on the radio years ago. So that's kind of cool.
That is so cool, especially for us, because we love hearing about that stuff. Okay, so now really quick, we're going to switch it up, and I'm going to ask you some really fast questions and get some really fast answers. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Favorite travel destination?
Scandinavia.
Ooh, favorite food?
Anything my husband cooks.
Oh, he's a good cook.
He's a very good cook.
What's your favorite movie?
Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, that's such a good movie. I know. Best podcast?
Back into crime. So recently, Beyond All Repair was very good.
I love true crime. Oh my God. Favorite book?
Joan Didion. Now that you say it, but I can't remember the Year of Living Positively. I can't remember, but it's my favorite book. But
we'll plug it
only
in later.
because
You're good. Favorite GC moment? Gaston College moment?
This week we had the Rhino Roadmap, and it was so fun watching everyone get so excited about our programs.
That was very fun. That was very fun.
Yeah.
Family?
3 children and a husband.
We've mentioned
and
that.
a dog.
Oh, doggy. What's your dog's name?
Murphy.
Murphy. We love Murphy. Something folks might not know.
I traveled in a group called Up With People when I was younger. I did a year with people from all over the world, 25 countries. We went to 80 cities all over the world, and we did a performance and community service in every city.
That is so cool.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. I wish we could ask more, but that's all we have.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. This has been Gaston Spotlight. I'm your host, Erica Shelton. This is Lisa Albright Jurs. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you for watching. This is Gaston Spotlight. I am Erica Shelton, and this is
Lisa Albright Jurs. That's okay.